mag-embroider, magbuburda, ibigay lang nila sa mga may bahay na wala namang, hindi na, may mga panahon doon sa loob ng mga bahay nila at nagbabantay ng mga kabataan. Pagkatapos, binibigay ang lahat ng kailangan nilang raw materials at ibibigay nila, yari na, tapos bayaran sila bawat natapos nila. Pero ngayon, may regulasyon na pag nagkaroon ng ganyang sistema, magiging employer mo ang korporasyon at magiging employee ka. At ang ibig sabihin niyan para sa korporasyon, babayad siya ng maraming mga kinakailangan na sa ilalim ng batas ay babayaran ng employer para sa employee niya. Kaya ayaw na nila ng labor contracting dahil nadadagdagan ang kanilang babayaran. Not only that, the local government units also require our aspiring Filipino woman entrepreneurs to secure a mayor's permit and to comply with all the necessary documents needed and pay all sorts of fees and charges. Pag ganyang regulasyon ng DOLE na yan, maraming requisitos ang kailangan doon sa may bahay. Mahirap lang siya, hindi nga siya siguro nakatapos ng high school. Kung dami-daming dokumento, pinapabayad pa siya. Antimano, wala pa siya, hindi pa siya nagtrabaho, babayad ka na para sa mayor's permit. Most certainly for underprivileged women, this is a most daunting task. Nakakawala ng gana. To comply with all the bureaucratic red tape and to come up with even more money to pay the fees and charges for the permits is definitely the straw that breaks the camel's back. Ayaw na lang. Ayaw ng kumpanya dahil marami siyang nadagdagan na gastos. Ayaw naman din nung may bahay sa mahirap na lugar dahil pati siya pinapabayad rin. If we truly want to help out the poor Filipino woman who may want to have a small business or do some labor-only contract work from their homes, they should be exempt from securing any permits from the local or national governments. Hindi na dapat pabayarin pa ang kababaihan. Pinalakpakan niyo ako, kaya awayin ko na naman ang mga nagtatayo para dito sa mga permits na ito. Sige, susulan niyo pa ako. They should also be exempt from the prohibition of labor-only contracting. Huwag na nila pakialam itong sistema na ito. Maganda na eh. If the government is willing to appropriate 44.25 billion pesos for the Pantawid Pamilya Program, binibigay lang yan, sukat na gobyerno. 44 billion, B, as in baboy talaga. Then it should be willing to forego whatever fees and taxes it could collect from these aspiring poor entrepreneurs who only want to have a better life and not want to be a burden to anyone. Pagbayarin pa ng ganyang kaliliit ng mga taxes and permits na yon, kung senador nga eh. Pasko, ang Christmas bonus niya galing sa taong bayan, pati mga mahirap, 2 milyong piso. Anin mong 2 milyong piso para sa Pasko? Buti sana nakalagay yung kondisyon, you have 2 million pesos provided you give it to a charity or an NGO of your choice. Hindi eh. Para pang personal. O ito, 2 million mo, bahala ka kung anong kagastusan mo. Anong kalaking ambisyon mo sa buhay na kailangan bigyan ka ng 2 million galing sa buwis na binayad ng taong bayan? Maliban lang kung marami kang kirida. At yan nga ang nangyayari. Nako, wag nila akong ginaganyan, hinahamon-hamon nila ako, mas dagdagan nila ang mga sinungaling nila tungkol sa akin, dagdagan ko ang mga katotohanan tungkol sa kanila. Alam ko yata lahat ng kalokohan nila. Sinong mga tuwid dyan sa Senado? Yung asawa ni Cynthia Villar, si Manuel Villar. Nasira sa black propaganda. Maraming rason yun bakit na black propaganda siya. Sinong mga baluktot dyan sa Senado? Yung hindi dumadaan sa matuwid na daan. Ang dami nila. Pwede ko silang pangalanan na. Antay lang sila pag nagbukas ang Kongreso dahil may parliamentary immunity ako. Sino mabakla sa Senado? Alam ko rin. I have to acknowledge that although we are on the path, we are far from closing the gender gap. The Geneva-based World Economic Forum conducted a 2011 Global Gender Gap Ranking. Pantay ba ang lalaki at babae sa bansa mo? These were the 4 categories that determine the gender gap. These are 1. Educational attainment. 2. Health and survival. 3. Economic participation and opportunity. 4. Political empowerment. In the first category of educational attainment, the Philippines was among the countries that were listed in the first rank, meaning that the number of females who attended elementary to college education is the same as that of males. So maganda tayo sa educational attainment. Pantay halos ang lalaki at ang babae. Ako may doctorate, ang asawa ko wala. She only finished Bachelor of Laws in UP, I finished Doctor of Juridical Science. Kaya, nang kinasal kami, kako sa kanya, para hindi tayo mag-away, ganitong patakaran natin. I go my way, and you go my way. Hanggang ngayon, di pa kami nag-away. In the second category of health and survival, the Philippines was also placed in the first rank. This means that in the Philippines, women and men have more or less the same life expectancy, which is affected by various factors such as disease, malnutrition, and violence. Kaya sabi ko sa asawa ko, pag namatay ka ng una sa akin, hindi kita papatawarin. But in the third category of economic participation and opportunity, economic participation, the Philippines ranked only number 15 because of evident gaps between men and women in terms of work participation, remuneration, and advancement opportunities. Go Negosyo knows that there remain significant hurdles in getting access to finance markets, pautang, saan tayo kukuha ng dagdag na kapital, finance, markets, training, and in leading companies where there is still an anomalous glass ceiling, glass kapisame. Ang ibig sabihin, ang babae hindi pwede na tumaas sa pinakataas na posisyon kung hindi hanggang dito ka lang sa kisame. That is why it is called glass ceiling. And the fourth category of political empowerment, the Philippines was ranked number 16 because of the disproportionate women-to-men ratio in government positions. Cynthia, bago ka dumating, sinabi ko kanina na dapat para pantay lalaki at babae, itong eleksyon dapat iboto 6 na babae at 6 na lalaki. That is called gender equality. And ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you my first endorsed candidate, female candidate for Senator, Congresswoman Cynthia Villar. Magaling yan. Mag-classmate yan sila ng asawa niya sa UP eh. Ngayon na disiplina niya, maaga pa ang asawa niya. Kaya yumaman sila. Last topic, political dynasties. In politics, women suffer a burden not suffered by men. This is because only women get pregnant. Yun lang kaibahan ng lalaki at ang babae nabubuntis, ang lalaki hindi. Until our civilization produces the technology to transfer the burden of pregnancy to men, there's nothing we can do about it. Women political leaders simply have to embrace and bridge the dichotomy between running the government and running a household. But women should educate men to share in household duties. Hindi ka mukha dati na basta sa loob ng bahay, ang lalaki wala nang ginagawa. Para siyang senyorito at sinisilbihan lamang. Ngayon hati na sila sa household dahil hati naman din sila pag naghanap buhay sa labas sa opisina. Women should educate men to share in household duties. there are some men who are non-educable. Hindi sila talagang maturuan na, kaya non-educable. In which case, I strongly suggest that you should simply get rid of your husband and get a more cooperative spouse. Turuan mo ang asawa mo, hati tayo sa trabaho sa loob ng bahay. Kung ayaw niyang magpaturo, palitan mo. Ang daming lalaki eh. Kung kailangan mo na maturuan ka kung anong paraan, tanungin mo lang ako. Magaling ako dyan. I'm only joking. I'm very, very happy with my husband. And I intend to have only one husband in my entire life. I think one more husband is not going to improve me. It might even make me a moron like most men. Our government has had women presidents and now we have a woman chief justice. But Congress has never had a female Senate president or a female speaker. This is because so far the greater majority in both chambers of Congress have always been men. Possibly, this is one reason why there is so much corruption in Congress. Even in the executive branch, there is an attitude problem. Certain cabinet positions seem to be reserved for men, such as the so-called muscular departments of agriculture, of energy, of trade and industry. Para bang nakareserba na yan para sa lalaki. By contrast, certain cabinet positions seem to be reserved for women, such as the DSWD. Bakit ganon? Nag-stereotyping tayo. We hope that in the next cabinet revamp, President Pinoy will take more heed of the example set by his mother, President Tory, and appoint more women cabinet members. Dynasties are unconstitutional. The Philippine Constitution prohibits political dynasties. Let me repeat. The Philippine Constitution prohibits political dynasties. Yan ang sabi ng ating saligang batas. Bakit tinitingala ang saligang batas? Dahil ang lahat ng batas ng Kongreso dapat ayon sa konstitusyon. Pag nilabag ang konstitusyon, illegal yung batas ng Kongreso. Kaya pinakamataas sa lahat ng batas ang Constitution. That is what we call the fundamental supremacy of the Constitution. Parang naging banal ng Constitution. Pag sinabi niya, gawin mo. Yan ang legal. Pag binawal niya, huwag na huwag mong gawin, illegal iyan at baka magiging criminal pa. The Constitution provides, quote, the state shall guarantee equal access to opportunities for public service and prohibit political dynasties as may be defined by law. Kaya lang, sabi ng Constitution, bawal ang political dynasty, pero ito magiging ayon sa batas na ipapairal ng Kongreso. Our Constitution was ratified in 1987. It is now 26 years since we ratified this Constitution. 26 na taon ang dumaan. But during this entire time of more than 2 decades, Congress has failed to comply with its constitutional duty to pass a law defining and prohibiting political dynasties. Kasi silang magiging apektado, kaya ayaw nila sundin ang konstitusyon. Nakalagay sa konstitusyon, pero hindi natin maisagawa dahil sabi ng konstitusyon, magantay tayo ng batas na pasado ng Kongreso. Kaya, sabi naman ng mga taga-Kongreso, huwag tayong pumasa ng batas para hindi natin masunod ang Constitution. Kung hindi ba naman mga ganit yan, hindi mo na masabi na hindi sila marunong magbasa. If they are literate and they refuse to obey the Constitution, in some countries they would be called criminals. In the Senate, I am the only senator to have filed an anti-dynasty bill. I filed the bill in 2005. It was only last year, 2012, or 8 years later, that the bill attracted media attention. World capital of political dynasties. Today, the Philippines is now conceivably the world capital of political dynasties. Tingnan mo ang gobyerno ng lahat ng bansa sa planeta. Ang Pilipinas, solo ang pinakamaraming political dynasties. At solo rin tayo na may constitutional provision na binabawal ang political dynasty. Ano na lang isipin? ng ibang taong bayan sa ibang mga bansa. Anong klaseng gobyerno ng mga Pilipino ito? Why do politicians want to build or perpetuate dynasties? Bakit gustong-gusto nilang magka-dynasty? Ang mga konsepsyon, ang mga Benitez, ang mga Ramos, ang mga Vibal, maybe even the Villars, of course they want to establish dynasties in business because they have to compete with hundreds, if not thousands, of competitors. Nakukompete kasi sila. Mas madali, naintindihan na ng pamilya. Kaibang politika. Hindi pwedeng political dynasty dahil yan ang sinasabi ng ating saligang batas. Kaya itanong niyo sa sarili niyo, bakit ayaw ng Kongresong political dynasty ang bawal or ban sa political dynasty? Bawal, bakit ayaw ng Kongreso? Bakit gustong-gusto nilang magka-political dynasty? Anong sagot ninyo? Para pwede sila magpatuloy ng pagnakaw ng pera ng bayan. Kung nahirapan ng tatay, hindi nila susunod ang anak, hindi ba? Kung nakakakuha ang tatay ng limpak-limpak na pera sa posisyon niya, di ang anak mag-ambisyon din. Yun lang ang pinakasimple na sagot. Dahil, tanungin kita, bakit kaya gustuhin itong mga politiko na papasundin sa yapak nila ang mga anak nila? Dito ang tuwa sila sa ginagawa nila. Pero hindi mo naman makita sa mga bills nila. Hindi man lang umiimik sa Senado, sa House of Representatives, yung mga iyon eh. Wala naman silang magandang ideas to improve the life of the Filipino entrepreneur or the equality between men and women. Bakit ginugusto nilang mag-dynasty? Sagutin mo ako. Dahil gusto nila na patuloy sila sa pagtamasa ng kapangyarihan at ng pera ng gobyerno. Alam ng konstitusyon yan, kaya meron tayong provision na ganon. Sabihin na natin ang totoo. Yun talaga ang totoo dyan. Kung lugi ka sa negosyo, itutuloy mo ba? Kung lugi sila sa politika, itutuloy ba nila? Hindi rin. Kung tumutubo ang negosyo, di pinapalawak mo. Kung nakakanakaw sila ng pera sa gobyerno, dito tuloy nila ang dynasty nila. That is the plain truth. That is the unvarnished truth, plain and simple. Yun lang ang rason mo bakit may mga dynasty. Why do young people aspire to be politicians instead of lawyers or doctors or other respected professionals? Itanong mo sa mga kabataan ngayon, maraming sasagot, ako pag-graduate ko, gusto ko politiko ako. People are driven to politics mainly because of the urge to power, and politicians are driven to dynasties mainly because of the urge to profit or in some cases to plunder. Of course, there are exceptions. In every rule, there's an exception. But that is the general rule. For most professions to succeed, it is necessary to obtain a university diploma, pass a government examination, and acquire years of backbreaking practice. Sa lahat ng profesyon, para maging abogado, doktor, arkitekto, engineer, whatever, kailangan nag-graduate ka sa universidad, sa pamantasan. Kailangan papasa ka ng examination ng gobyerno. Kailangan nag-practice ka ng baba-baba ng sweldo mo hanggat sa gumaling na gumaling ka at naging expert ka na. Pero sa politika, wala ang ganon. Virtually no qualification is required, except possibly the epidermis of a pachyderm. Anong ibig ko sabihin? Meaning the sensibilities of a Carabao. Talagang makapal ang mukha nila. Hindi sila nahihiya. Hindi sila, wala sa kanila kung pinag-uusapan na sila ng tao. Sige lang sila ng sige. Ganun na bang lipunan natin ngayon? Pakapalan na ng mukha? Patigasan na ng sikmura? No wonder dynasts are called stationary bandits. They are the equivalent of mafia crime families. Members of dynasties are gluttons for power and privilege. They constitute political monopolies and combinations in restraint of opportunities for others. Kala ko demokrasya ito, pantay. ang pagkakataon na pagsilbi sa publiko. Yun ang sabi sa ating Constitution, binasa ko kanina eh. Eh paano ka tatakbo sa dynasty? Ang dami nilang pera ninakaw nila. Marami na silang mga opisyal sa local government unit na nabili na nila noon pa. Wala kang pag-asa, mas isuma cum laude ka ng UP. Anong klaseng gobyerno ito? 178 political dynasties. The result of 26 years of deliberate inaction by legislators is that based on 2010 elections, today there are 178 dominant political dynasties. At the House of Representatives, 74% or 170 representatives belong to political families. In the Senate, 80% or 18 of the current 24 senators are members of political families. In the party list system, 91% or 52 seats are held by millionaires and multi-millionaires. The Philippines has 80 provinces, 80. Of these, 94%, meaning 73 out of 80, have political dynasties. In every province, there are at least 2 political families. The Constitution regards political dynasties as evil because in effect they constitute a monopoly of political power inside a democracy, the Constitution of which explicitly provides that every qualified Filipino should have an equal opportunity for public service. Kayong mga may hirap na nagmalasakit pumunta dito para sana matutuhan naman kayo. Anong pagkakataon ng anak mo? May pag-asa bang anak mo na tumakbo bilang mayor or congressman or even senator? Kung kalaban mo, political dynasty, sa bayan mo? Wala. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Wala. Kasi gumawa sila ng sistema na sila lang habang panahon, dekada, pagkatapos ng dekada, sila lang maghahawak ng kapangyarihan sa politika. Hindi natin tingnan, marunong ba na tao ito? Nag-graduate ba ito with honors? Nag-eskwela ba abroad? Wala. Nakapasa ba yan sa government exam? Wala. Nag-practice ba yan? Wala. Ang qualification nila, sila ay kasapi ng pamilya na kontroladong politika sa isang bayan. And yet, political dynasties who have ruled for more than 30 years, 30, sobra sa 30 taon, include 6 families. Biro mo yan? Itong 6 na pamilya na ito, nasa kapangyarihan, 30 taon o lampas pa. Political dynasties who have ruled for more than 20 years include at least 61 families. Political dynasties who have ruled 12 to 18 years include 53 political dynasties. Political dynasty is anathema in a democracy because in one geographical area, one family controls power, corruption, the military, the police, and illegal activities galore, such as illegal gambling, drug smuggling, gun smuggling, and smuggling of various other objects obtained by law, such as luxury sports cars in Cagayan, Port Irene, hometown of somebody I do not like. Biro mo, sa buong Pilipinas, sabi ng Korte Suprema, hindi na pwede mag-import ng second hand na mga kotse. Siya lang katangi-tangi nagsabi, ako pwede. Dahil mali ang Supreme Court at ako ang tama. Eh kung ganyan pala na mayroon tayong malaking negosyo na pwedeng pagkakitaan ng gobyerno at ng taong bayan, di lahat na lang bigyan din ng sarili niyang free port, hindi ba? Para pantay-pantay ang lahat. Bakit mag-isa lang siya? Sa lahat ng 98 million Filipinos, ang binibigyan nitong pagkakataon na ito. Kaya kami nag-aaway eh. Kasing edad ko lang yan eh. Anti-dynasty bill. Admittedly, it is very difficult and complicated to provide a definition of political dynasty. Ang ano mong kamag-anak ang i-disqualify natin? Bakit maging disqualification niya na magkamag-anak kayo? Dapat lahat naman ay libre na tumakbo. But we can define political dynasty by specifying the situation. This is what I did in my Senate Bill number 2649. The bill imposes a prohibition on relatives within the second civil degree of consanguinity or affinity. Alam niyo ba kung ano itong mga degree-degree na ito na sinasabi sa batas? Una, hanapin mo ang kamag-anak ninyo. Halimbawa ako, hanapin mo sinong tatay ko. That is one degree. Kung may kapatid siyang lalaki, that is another degree. Bumalik sa akin, that's another degree. Ganon ka magbilang ng degree. Ngayon, itong aking bill, very lenient mga ito. 2 civil degrees lang ang prohibited. On the local level, this bill prohibits such relatives, yung second degree, from running for public office at the same time within the same province. On the national level, such relatives cannot occupy the same office immediately after the term of office of the incumbent elective official. So the law is very, very limited, so that all others can have the so-called right of suffrage, the right to vote and be voted upon. There is no law as yet that prohibits political dynasties. Therefore, according to the perverted reasoning of those who profit by the system, political dynasties are not yet illegal. Total, sabi nila wala pa ng batas, hindi pa illegal yan. However, everyone admits that political dynasties are unconstitutional dahil binabawal ng ating saligang batas. So I ask this question, is there a creature that is unconstitutional but legal? Meron bang ganon? Napunta na ako sa Oxford o sa Cambridge o sa Harvard wala pa akong narinig na ganon. That something is unconstitutional but also legal at the same time. That kind of creature would be an oxymoron. It would be a contradiction in terms. Does this mean that our august legislators have the power to nullify a constitutional prohibition simply by refusing to enact a law implementing the constitutional mandate? That is a no-brainer. Do we want to reward lawmakers who refuse to make laws, or should we punish them? The only conclusion is that if political dynasties qualify as legal by default, still political dynasties remain unethical. You can make exceptions, but if you want to make an exception, it should be based on extraordinary merit. Every law is its own exception, but be careful that the law is not swallowed, that the general rule is not swallowed by the exceptions. Pwede naman tayo gumawa ng exceptions dahil talagang merong mga magkapatid o mag-asawa na parehong talentado. Pero hanggat sumari, tayo mga mamboboto, huwag natin iboto ang mga political dynasties. Do not vote for members of political dynasties. And don't you dare to qualify my kumadre, Cynthia Villar, in that category. She belongs to an entirely different category. There is so much that is wrong with this country, starting with the attitude of some that they are sacrosanct and should be exempted from public scrutiny. Yun ang attitude ng mga kalaban ko. Gusto nila makisama kami na makisama sa ginagawa nilang mali. At kung magsasalita ka, tatawag kang, you are not a team player. Or mahirap makisama dyan. Or, masahol pa, they will engage in name-calling and mud throwing against you. Nagsabi lang ako ng isang fact. Ang nangyari lang sa pinag-uusapan. Ngayon lahat na pinag-uusapan. Lahat na tungkol sa katauhan ko, sinama na sinabi sa atin sa college, sinuruan tayo,